esteemed guests, our regulators, ladies and gentlemen, please can we stand up for the national anthem? You're welcome once more. Before we proceed, I'd like to extend the... Yes. Before we proceed, I would like to extend the sincere apologies of the chairman of the board. He's planned to be here. Unfortunately, he's unable to attend the meeting physically with us. And so, to further the course of the meeting, the directors present will have to elect one among themselves. Thank you. So, to further the course of the meeting, the directors present will have to elect one among themselves to be the chairman of the meeting. This is in line with Article 55 of the Company's Articles of Association and Section 256 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. I kindly request that the directors here present elect one from among them to be chairman of the meeting.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you. I, Dr. Akinwande Ademosu, an independent non-executive director, hereby move the motion that Barrister Okechukwu Mezi step in as the chairman of the occasion.
Okay, please, is there a director to second the motion?
Okay, I, Emmanuel Omojine, non-executive director, I hereby second the motion that Barrister Okechukwu be the chairman for the meeting.
Thank you. With the chairman of the meeting having been duly elected, I will hand over the proceedings to him.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for coming. It's with pleasure that I welcome every one of us to the 30th annual general meeting of our company, which I now declare open. I have no doubt in my mind that the members of the board are known to you. However, as it is customary, before moving on to the formal matters of the agenda, I would like to introduce very briefly the board of directors and other officials on this side of the gathering. To my immediate right is Mr. Benjamin Nwezigwe, the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of the company. After him, to my right, is Mrs. Phoebian Ifeadi, the Executive Director, Corporate Services. Beside her is Dr. Akinwande Ademosu, an independent non-executive director of the company. On my immediate left is Mr. Mandela Golkus, the company secretary, legal advisor. After him, to my left, is Mr. Emmanuel Omoojine, a non-executive director. And beside him is Mr. Anibal Krager, an independent non-executive director of the company. Joining us virtually is Mrs. Godry Ogbeche, a non-executive director. My humble self, I am Barrister Okechukwu Omezi, an independent non-executive director and the chairman of this meeting. To the right and the left of the directors are the company's advisors who will be assisting with the proceedings. To my right is Mrs. Rosemary Census, a representative of the Security and Exchange Commission. Also to my right is Mrs. Antonia Ame, representative of NGX Regulation Limited. We do not have a representative of CAC join us for this meeting. To my left on the floor are Mr. Sheun Ejodame, Mrs. Sheun Ejodame, partner in the firm of Deloitte and Touche. Sorry, madam. With him is Mr. Patrick Chinwuba, manager in the firm of Deloitte and Touche. To my far left on the floor is Mrs. Obi Chiki Ijebu Luem, representing Greenwich Registrars and Data Solutions Limited, the registrars of the company. Immediately next to the auditors are the shareholders, members of the audit committee. They are the following: Engineer MOT Olaiwola Tobu, Chairman of the audit committee; Mr. Omokayode O. Adekunle; Mrs. Odushote A. Olatubosu. Thank you very much. I will now call on the secretary to read the notice convening this meeting.
Thank you, Chairman. Notice is hereby given that the 30th Annual General Meeting of Eterna Plc will be held on Thursday, 11th May 2023 at the Shell Hall, Muson Center, Onikon, Lagos at 11 a.m. prompt to transact the following businesses. Ordinary business: to lay the reports of the auditors, the audited financial statements, the reports of the auditors and the audit committee for the year ended 31st December 2022 before the shareholders. Number 2, to declare a dividend. Number 3, to re-elect retiring directors. Number 4, to reappoint the auditors and authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors. Number 5, to elect members of the audit committee. Number 6, to disclose the remuneration of managers of the company in line with Section 257 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. Special business: to consider and, if thought fit, transact the following special business as ordinary resolutions of the company. Item 1, to fix the remuneration of the directors. Item 2, that in compliance with the rules of the Nigerian Exchange Limited governing transactions with related parties or interested persons, the company is hereby granted a general mandate in respect of all recurring transactions entered into with a related party or interested person, provided that such transactions are of a revenue or trading nature or are necessary for the company's day-to-day operations. This mandate shall commence on the date on which this resolution is passed and shall continue to operate until the date on which the next annual general meeting of the company is held. Furthermore, in compliance with the rules of the Nigerian Exchange Limited, related parties or interested persons shall abstain from exercising any voting rights in respect of Resolution 7.2 above at the meeting by order of the board, Company Secretary. Mr. Chairman, the notice has been read, so I'll hand over the proceedings to you again.
Thank you very much, Company Secretary. We'll now go quickly to the opening remark of the chairman. I want to presume. Thank you very much. In that case, I wish to move to the agenda of today's meeting. Item 1, to lay the reports of the directors, the audited financial statement, the report of the auditors and the audit committee for the year ended 31 December 2022 before the shareholders. You will each have received a copy of the full annual report and the financial statement of the company and the reports of the directors, which I declare to have been fully tabled. I will now call upon the representative of the auditors to read the reports of the auditors in respect of the financial statement for the year ended 31st December 2022.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, to the distinguished members of the board, the shareholders, and the audience members. With your permission, Mr. Chairman, I would like to just take the first two sections and the final section of the independent auditor's report. Thank you very much. And the permission of shareholders as well. Apologies. Thank you. Thank you. Independent auditor's report to the shareholders of Eterna Plc. The report on the audit of the consolidated and separate financial statements. Opinion. We have audited the consolidated and separate financial statements of Eterna Plc and its subsidiaries, the group and company, set out on pages 42 to 90, which comprise the consolidated and separate statement of financial position as at 31 December 2022, the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, changes in equity, and cash flows for the year then ended, the notes to the consolidated and separate financial statements, including a summary of significant accounting policies. In our opinion, the consolidated and separate financial statements give a true and fair view of the financial position of the group and company as at 31 December 2022, and its financial performance and cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standards and the requirements of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 and the Financial Reporting Council Act 2011. Basis for opinion. We conducted our audits in accordance with International Standards on Auditing, ISAs. Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the consolidated and separate financial statement section of our report. We are independent of the group in accordance with the requirements of the International Ethics Standards Board for Accountants, ISBA International Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, including International Independent Standards, ISBA Code, and other independent requirements applicable to performing audits of financial statements in Nigeria. We have fulfilled our other ethical responsibilities in accordance with the ISBA Code and other ethical requirements that are relevant to our audit of financial statements in Nigeria. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. I'll now go to the final section on page 41 of the annual report. Report on other legal and regulatory requirements. In accordance with the 5th schedule of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, we expressly state that we have obtained all the information and explanation which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audit, that the group has kept proper books of accounts so far as appears from our examination of those books, that the group and company's financial position and its statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of accounts and returns. Signed by Abraham Udenani, FCA, for Deloitte and Touche, Chartered Accountants in Lagos, Nigeria, on 31 March 2023. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'll now call upon the chairman of the audit committee to read the report of the committee.
the chairman, members of the board of directors, regulatory authority here present, eminent shareholders, good morning. The report of the audit committee is on page 38, and I read, in accordance with the statutory requirement of the Section 404, subsection 4 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, we, the members of the Audit Committee of Eterna Plc, having carried out our statutory functions under the Act, hereby confirm that the accounting and reporting policy of the group and the companies are in accordance with the legal requirements and agreed ethical practices. In our opinion, 1, the accounting and reporting policy of the Eterna Plc, as contained in the company's audited financial statement for the year ended 31st December 2022, are in accordance with the relevant financial reporting framework and agreed ethical practices. 2, the scope and planning of the audit for the year ended 31st December 2022 were adequate. 3, the external auditor's findings on management matters and management responses thereto were satisfactory. 4, we have kept under the review effectiveness of the company's systems of the accounting and international controls dated the 22 days of March 2023, signed by me, Engineer Moti Olaiwola Tobu. Other members of the audit committee are Omokayode Adekunle, Mrs. Odushote O. Anike, Mr. Anebo Kraga, Mr. Emmanuel Omojen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. The annual report and the financial statement having been laid before you in accordance with the Companies and Allied Matters Act, your directors have fulfilled their obligations in respect of this matter. It is now left for me to give you ample opportunity to ask questions on the report and financial statements. I would like to appeal to each questioner to be brief in order to give others a chance to ask questions. Also, it will help if you could refer to the page of the report and financial statement to which your question relates. Each questioner should please give his or her full name over the roving microphone and state his or her questions clearly and slowly. We'll start with you, sir.
The chairman, board members, regulatory authorities here present, and my colleague, esteemed shareholders, good morning. My name is Matthew Akinlade, President of Noble Shareholders Association. To start with, I think we should be celebrating Eterna Plc. And the new, I will tell you why. I will tell you why. Looking at the results, it may not be bumper, and even for me, it is bumper. In fact, the chairman in his statement on page 10, in fact, he more or less shortchanged the board by saying revenue was grown by 14%. It is actually by 42%. In a very difficult year with various economic challenges that Nigeria faced in year 2022. For me, it is a very good performance that we should applaud. Beyond that, they were able to manage the cost of sales. While revenue grew by 42%, cost of sales grew by 38%. In an inflationary environment, it's for me a very good performance, and that the management and the board, they were really managing the cost effectively to be able to give returns to investors. If we look at the cost too, the cost is also well managed. I look at the sales and distribution cost, grew by only 20%, even when the revenue grew by 42%. And general and admin grew by 36%. I will come back to general and admin expenses because I have some questions over there. In the year, our gross profit increased by 111%. And when we look at operating profit, which was 233 million the previous year, we now have 3 billion. It's very significant. And when we go and look at profit after tax, the net effect, even haven't paid the government what is due to them. The previous year, the loss was 1.1 billion. And there's a total turnaround to a profit after tax of 1 billion. So you can see that the performance is great. Earning per share that used to be 84, that was 84, a negative of 84 kobo the previous year, is now a positive of 78 kobo. And while they couldn't pay any dividend last year, they are giving us 15%. That's a good one. And I was wondering whether this is just a flash, just once. And I took time to look at the first quarter report. It also showed that revenue has been grown by 60%. Cost of sales is still well managed, 13% growth compared with revenue growth of 16%. And gross profit increased by 53%. For me, the company has performed excellently well. But I think they can still do better. I look at two are female. I think a code of corporate governance is recommending about 33%, a third of the board to be female. So I want us to be more gender friendly. I'm speaking for the women. So that you need to look at that and do something. And when I also look at page 43 of the financial statement, that's where we have the balance sheet. Our borrowing is growing. It was 21 billion before, it's now about 27. It has grown by 27%. But that didn't give much concern because even the cash and bank balances grew by 74% from 6.4 to 11.1, which means our company is liquid. And I also look at the current ratio. Current assets ratio is 1-to-1 in the current year, as against 0.98 to 1, which means the current ratio is also comfortable, which means when people that want to give credit are assessing you, they will know that you can easily repay them without much ado. The area that gave me concern, which I would like us to look at, is on page 70. Page 70. I look at technical support service fee of 173 million. There was nothing like that in the previous year. And I read the statement that followed that 0.75% of turnover is payable to Preline Limited, and I know Preline Limited is a major shareholder. We need to speak to that. Why didn't we have something like that last year? Why this year? And what kind of services is Preline rendering to the company? Another thing I want to applaud the company for, I read from the chairman's statement about 5-year strategic plan, which means our company is forward-looking. We are not just looking at today alone. We are planning ahead. We have something that to drive the business. We have set goals that we want to pursue. I give kudos to you, and I will say, let us use that plan to monitor, to drive the performance of the company. And I'm sure with the kind that I look at the profile of the people on the board, I feel comfortable that there are people that can drive the business to higher level. So I want to congratulate the board and the management and the workers that really bake the bread. God bless you, and God will continue to drive our company to a higher level. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Let's give the woman so that we'll meet our 30%.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, Board of Directors, regulatory authorities here present, my distinguished shareholders, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Mrs. Bisi Bakari. I'm the National Coordinator of Pragmatic Shareholders Association of Nigeria. Mr. Chairman, I'm not going to take much of your time. I'm going to be very brief because I've earlier sent my questions through the company secretary to the MD, so I'm going to be very brief. Having said that, Mr. Chairman, I want to commend and congratulate our board, management, and staff of Eterna Plc for the excellent, impressive, and remarkable growth in our financial results. Of course, Chief Akinlade have said much on that page. That is on page 1. We can see the way he analyzed the pages. And just pardon us that almost all shareholders that are going to talk this morning are going to say 1 or 2 things about the page, because the page look very, very good. But the only thing that we had to what Chief Akinlade said on this is that within very few years, our board were able to turn around this company. This is very great. And I want my colleagues to give them a very sound round of applause for this type of achievement. Page 4, 25 and 35. When you look at this page, we have a very good product. All our products are very good. But Mr. Chairman, I will advise this board that we should embark on more publicity on some of these products. Because with that publicity, we cannot know what we are selling. Page 94. CSR project, refurbishing of library block at the school for special needs, Shagam. This is very good. We thank you for this. I'm also from Shagam, so we send our appreciation for this. But Mr. Chairman, next time, so that we can do the follow-up, we would like to know the school the name of the school. What we can only see here is before and after. What's the name of the school? Next time, let us know the name of the school. Again, Mr. Chairman, I just want to ask a question that with the subsidy removal, there will still be high demand for lubricants as we can't do without oil in our vehicles and generators. So on that note, I want to ask that there is need for us to start producing small packs lubricants, small packs. I want the board to look at that. Again, we need to watch our trade and other receivables and our expenses by nature, especially our general and administrative expenses. Again, I have only 2 questions more. I want to ask that how is our company planning to capitalize on the opportunities in the Nigerian energy markets, given the increasing demand for power shift towards renewable energy? I would like to know. On this issue of oil theft and pipeline vandalization, has been a source of worry to industry watcher in the oil and gas, Mr. Chairman. How can you quantify the damage this is doing to our business in the oil sector? And is there any step taken by government and all the stakeholders in addressing this, Mr. Chairman? Lastly, what is your take on subsidy removal and appropriate pricing of petroleum products through the forces of demand and supply? Once again, thank you very much for the opportunity given to me. God bless you all.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, board members, regulators, distinguished shareholders, Adio A. Alex is the name pastor. I lead Dynamic Shareholders Association. Mr. Chairman, I feel delighted to be here this morning because we have good accounts to look at. And I'm not going to take your time. I will only fall in line. There won't be any repetition. There could be a little reiteration where necessary. I'm looking at the financial highlights, and that is on page 1, if I'm right. Yes, page 01, which has actually spoken by itself without repetition. I don't know if Mrs. Bakare made mention of this. When you look at the change in variance, percentage variance, that should be a typo, unless otherwise, if the Financial Reporting Council and others have changed the position of things. But I want to say kudos for coming back from lost position to profitability. I want to believe that we are going to keep this up. I want to align that with page 42, 43, that has to do with financials. Let's look at our tax, the computation, the general stroke admin expenses, and borrowings. Let's look at that. Then I move quickly to page number 3, notice of meeting. It's going to be just an advice. Notice of meeting. I want to say kudos for giving us 15 kobo dividend payable tomorrow. That is fantastic. I expect that shareholders will give them a round of applause because something will be coming to our purse. But I look at the dividend payment, that is the note there. I want to compare that note to page 10, which is equally another note that has to do with dividend payout. And I would love if you make it so simple that a layman will not just be looking at on Friday, we are paying. So if he doesn't have the knowledge, if he cannot go further, he will not know how much you are paying. So just look at it. I don't want to waste time. Next time you put it 5 kobo, payable so, and the rest. Just look at it. That will speak better for everybody. Unclaimed dividends, Mr. Chairman, please work with the registrars. Let's see what we can do there. I'm not sure that that is being circulated here this morning. And to fix the 7.2, I want to trust this board that as we are giving approval for all this, we will not misuse it. I move from there quickly, Mr. Chairman. Okay, see, Bonnie. Page number 4. That has to do with the lubricant brands, Mr. Chairman. Somebody made mention of that, but I put here, let there be more publicity and aggressive marketing. I want to ask quickly, do we have anything to protect our brand against fake reproduction? Because there was a time in the news that we saw your keg and some people were refilling it. So if you use it and you are not getting a result, you still call the same name. So let's find a way to protect our brand, and push it very well. Page number 12. ERM, Enterprise Risk Management. That's page 12, paragraph 2 was talking about capital availability. That means we need to shore up our capital. But I put here quickly, Mr. Chairman, as you are going now, if you can stabilize the company, if you can gain shareholders' confidence, if you can showcase your achievements, if you can show us the prospect and achievable forecast, then reach out to shareholders. You can be sure that whatever you bring to the table will give you espresso approval so that you can show up the capital and will give you all the support. And donation, yes, because that woman is from Shagamu. It's fantastic. But next time, please spread it. It's like a turnkey project. You can spread it and reach out to some other areas. I think that is equally good. On a final note, our cylinder, the production of gas cylinder, page 35, that's another good brand, but we need to push it. Because some of your peers in the industry came out with gas some years back, they are nowhere to be found. Let's push it, but if it's not bringing returns, well, we can find a way to say bye-bye and do some other profitable business. Page 25, door-to-door delivery of diesel. Let's do more of this. That is good. I want to equally, on the final note, comment the board. And I want to say the chairman, the one that is working online, and the one that is physically present, that you have people that are managing this company. So I say kudos to the GMD or the MD and all the board members, the way they are doing it. And I want to believe that you will keep us this trust bestowed on you so that this company will grow from high to high. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Man, Ogan White. Yes, sir. He's representing the youths.
Okay. I believe we are still in the morning. Good morning, Mr. Chairman. The directors of Eterna Plc, distinguished fellow shareholders, good morning. It's good to have this interaction with you after the exit of COVID, and I thank God for sparing our lives. Mr. Chairman, when the meeting was about to commence, I had reason to leave the premises. But I overheard something about the absence of the substantive chairman, Mr. Ogbiche. And I know we are human beings, and there could be commitments, and there could be other issues that will not ensure availability. But definitely, this event has been fixed for some time, and is also in public domain. And you will soon understand why I'm raising this issue. It is not good that for the very first meeting, the chairman is absent. It is not good. It's not sending a very, very good signal.
This is not the first meeting. This is the second.
Was he here last year?
Yes.
He was?
Fully on ground.
Okay, my apology. But like I said, you will understand the reason of where I'm coming from. You see, we have quite a lot of musicians in this country. If you see some of them, I'm very sure you will be able to recognize them. But there's one that I can place a bet that you can never recognize. His name is called Lagbaja. And Lagbaja simply means Mr. Somebody. And Mr. Somebody simply means Mr. Nobody. Because you cannot see, neither can you recognize Mr. Lagbaja. So since we are here, there is also one of your competitors, well known to shareholders. The chairman of the board of that company is called Mr. Lagbaja. no shareholder has ever seen him at an annual general meeting for almost 20 years. So you can understand where I'm coming from. For us to come to another oil company and for the chairman to be absent. So we begin to wonder whether there's going to be an original Lagbaja and a counterfeit Lagbaja, or a first-tier Lagbaja and a second-tier Lagbaja. So that is my concern, and I think it is well placed. Mr. Chairman, much has been said about the results. Great. We are beginning to praise you and praise the MD and his team as turnaround managers. We believe that the coming of the new core investor to this company is beginning to spell very good for shareholders. And we just want to encourage you that you should keep it up. Mr. Chairman, I got one or two things to say. First quarter report. If you look at that result very well, there are quite a lot of... Mr. Chairman, I hope I have your attention. Mr. Chairman. All right. It's okay. I can read your lips. Because if you don't answer any of my questions, I will stand up and insist that you must answer them. All right. For the first quarter, we have figures under the column, the company. And we have figures, comparative figures under the column, the group. Now, when you look at the company, we are doing extremely well, given the comparative figures. But when you look at the group, there appears not to be so much difference between the figure for last year and the figure for this year. Now, I've looked critically at the top line. I can't see any difference on the top line between the company and the group. And I want you to speak to it. What is essentially the difference between the group and the company? It's very, very important to me to know. All right, so having said that, Mr. Chairman, on page 70, note 731, I think Mr. Matthew Akinlade mentioned the issue of technical support.
Can you please clarify your first question? Are you talking about the report or Q1 report? Or Q1 report of 2023?
Mr. Chairman, I think I will go home with you at the end of this meeting because you have made my day. I was waiting for you to reply and to omit the question or to miss the question. But now you have told me that you are actually not listening while I was speaking. So I love you. I love you. I think I will follow you. You have just won a disciple. My question is about the first quarter. I said my colleagues have spoken about the account, and it's a very good one. And it shows that you guys that are bought into this company are good turnaround managers. I've given that credit to the board, to the managing director, and his team. So I've dealt with that. I'm talking about the first quarter. And the figures, the top line figures between the company and the group, and their comparative figures for the previous year.
He's talking about first quarter.
So I hope you got that.
It's Q1 2023.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
we may be able to provide an answer, but that is not really what our focus is on today. Maybe at the end of the year, when we come to next year,
okay,
this question you can ask and then we'll answer you.
All right.
Yeah. Or you can have a discussion later.
There is no problem about that. The account that we are considering is an historical account. 2022 is long done, dead, and buried. So the only thing you are owing us in the next 1 hour is our dividends. But we need to know the health of the business. And that health of the business need not wait for another 1 year. And that is why the statutory things are that you should release quarterly reports. So, Chairman, as we speak today, May 11, you have already concluded the business as at March ending. And you have released the result to the public. It will not be out of place to say you have done well or you have not done well, or to ask some questions that are related to the business.
You can proceed to the next question, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now I was talking about page 70, note 7.3.1, technical support services, 0.75%. I don't think there is anything wrong in paying technical support services where such technical support are actually rendered. It is normal. I think what is our concern as shareholders is the transparency, is the approval process. Was it ever brought to the venue of the AGM, and was it approved, or was it just an in-house thing? These are the questions that should agitate the mind of shareholders, and I would like you to speak to that, because practically everywhere we pay technical support services, this and that, but there are processes, and then we just need to be sure that we pass through those processes. On note 21.2, I think I have this question actually for the external auditors, but I've thought I will see my friend Udenani, but he's not here, or somebody is here from Deloitte. We classified deposit for products as trade and other receivables. And I found that to be a little bit funny in terms of classification. Why, for whatever reason, it ballooned our trade and other receivable by 7.8 billion naira. So on a first look, people are likely to think that you are doing business, but you are not collecting the money. That is the impression on the surface. Meanwhile, this is a deposit for product. It is not a sale that we have made and that we have refused to collect the money. So this classification is a question to the external auditors. Why did you classify deposit for product as trade receivable? Because we don't want to receive that money. We are paid so that we can get the product, so that we can sell. So you will need to enlighten us on this advanced IFRS, or on this confusion of IFRS, as the case may be. Mr. Chairman, on page 43, Statement of Financial Position, the short-term borrowing is standing at 26.8 billion. And we don't have any long-term borrowing. So I just want to advise that there may be a need for us to restructure our borrowings in a way and manner that will not be choked in terms of interest payments and what have you. So, Mr. Chairman, I want to finally thank the Managing Director, the Company Secretary, and people who are saddled with the affairs of this business. I think they have done very well. And for the South African man sitting by your immediate left, I think he has done quite a lot of work to always carry shareholders along, and I want to publicly acknowledge the role that he has played. I wish this company all the best, and I wish that next year, by his grace, we will have double of what we are taking home today. Thank you, and God bless you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You, sir.
The interim chairman, other members of the board, very distinguished fellow shareholders. First, let me say that because the first speaker said you have a robust dividend, all of you are in 3Ps, and the only person that is not in 3Ps, make sure that you wore the brown color of the company. Even the lady, I'm told, is also wearing 3Ps. Madam, well done. But let me start on the note of what I don't like. What I don't like, don't worry, I will tell you my name, don't be in a hurry. What I don't like as Nona Awo is for you as a company to come before shareholders and ask us to approve director's fee, and you will not have dividend for us to approve. So I'm hoping that that is not what you will do going forward. And you know why? If I didn't know or I didn't read the profile of the company secretary that says he's a lawyer, when I looked at page 3, I saw small print. I said, this man must be an insurance man. He has put it there so I know. But talking seriously to the business, unfortunately, the chairman is not here. The man who runs this business 365 days is the CEO. Yes, I know that the CEO and all of you will have had an input into the chairman's statement. But please, going forward, let the CEO write us a love letter as to how he has managed the company. This that we have done is a carryover of the colonial days, when the chairman used to be chairman, CEO. But our rules today says you can't do same. So if he says you can't do same, let's abide by what the rule says. Okay? That is the first issue that I want to raise. The second issue that I also want to raise going forward, if you look at page 15 to 19, it talks about profile of directors. But you're not consistent in the date of appointment. Yes, I know that you have it on one of the pages, but I know that that may not be available next year. So let's begin to have date of appointment of all the directors as part of their profile. That way, we'll much more be able to follow. But relating that to page 23 and relating that to the date of appointment, is very obvious that even the persons here who are carrying the tag of independent may not be as independent as you want it to be. They may not be. But I will be much more at peace if we are also, as a company, have the minority shares represented on this board. So we'll be hoping that that is one major area that you set to work in getting, because I'm sure if you look at the register of the company, you will certainly will find good hands that also ethically upright to be able to make contribution to this board. Because if you come in with less than 70% and you appointed everybody or you brought everybody, then those of us who have 20% probably shouldn't trust you. That is what you are saying. But we want to trust you, and the only way we can trust you is that we must have a minority representative. If my colleagues will allow, we'll even send you names for you to pick from. So that we also know that this business has changed and we want to make contribution that will benefit everybody. And when I mean everybody, everybody. But going forward, because looking at page 31 and 38, I find in one of the reports, you said the tenure expired. I think that much more like it, because audit committee election is every year. But when you go to page 38 and you say removed, remove is negative. It wasn't removed. Because what you have is an election. Because if you say it was removed, then you need to provide reasons why he was removed. Okay? I'm not a lawyer, but that is one of the things I learned from lawyers. I'm also interested in page 38. If you look at that page 38, I now begin to see the difference between pound sterling and dollars. And if you look at pound sterling and dollars, you begin to understand the weight that they carry. But since we are in Nigeria, I would prefer a Naira signature. And that Naira signature should be around what the dividend policy of the company will be. Let's have a policy around dividends. But much more, because you're a publicly quoted company, it will also be interesting that you add the dividend history along with the shareholding history. That way, the ability to assess where you are coming from and where you are headed will be better appreciated. And I don't think it will cost you more than a line. Just one more line, and then you'll be there. I am also, for the future, I will be wanting you to speak around what I have on page 78. Juhi 2. Juhi 2. Because one of the things that you find there in the note, he talked about placement for equity now turning to loan. And if you look at that, and I think that the auditors will have helped you, if you say it is a loan, what I will be expecting that you also have an interest element attached to it. Nothing was said about the interest. But much more importantly is that what is the future of that project? I'm not sure anything is said about the location, but I think it's something that you need to talk about. Because like one of the speakers said, for me, yesterday is gone. What is important for me as an investor is that tomorrow must be better than yesterday. And it can only be better if we ask the necessary question and then you also give the proper answers to them. Let me close on the note of future around funding. Yes, there is a new refinery in town, local. But if you look at page 45 and 83, it's important that you talk around what is going to be our funding model. Because if you don't provide that, it may then be difficult for me to also understand the growth model. Don't forget, I mentioned earlier, it's capital intensive. So the more, again, you're able to talk around that, the better for me in terms of understanding this business. While we wait the non-classification of the chairman as Lagbaja, and unfortunately I gave that title to the person that they talked about, it may be necessary that going forward, that one of the things that this board must do is to also have a vice president or vice chairman. So that if it's not there, you are not going to do the board meeting in public. Though I don't have anything against it, but if you have a situation where one of you is the vice chairman, then this ritual that you have done this morning would not have been necessary. Okay, so it's something that you need to consider and appoint one of you as the vice chairman so that when you have a situation where you don't have the chairman, then somebody steps in almost immediately. It's also important to mention that I appreciate the fact that, yes, you may not be that old in this business, but you have taken the need to have shareholders, both those physically present and those who are not able to attend, to join this meeting. Hence, your provision for streaming. And I hope that is something that you continue. Because come to think of it, I'm not sure at your board meeting, some of the issues that have been raised this morning is something that will have come easy to you. So you have benefits to take from here. And the more that you relate with this larger number, I'm sure the better you'll be long term. Yes, I know that quite a number of persons will also complain about our excesses and inadequacy. No human being is perfect. If you do your side right and we begin to also do our own side right, I'm sure we have a bigger company and a better company. So I'm hoping that that is the path that you will continue on. I'm also concerned that talking about tomorrow, you need to give some fleshing to what you have in your annual account year in, year out, and you talk about research and development. And I don't find anything mentioned about it. Or is it because somebody talked about R&D? We also put R&D. But if you are doing something, please let us know. Don't forget, everybody that bought your shares yesterday didn't buy it for the price of yesterday. It's buying for the future. And the more I'm able to say this is where you are headed in the future, the better for each and every one of us. And let me, again, thank you for your engagement of shareholders for this present, and I'm hoping that even the challenge aspect of our subsidiary vis-a-vis the group, if you look at the subsidiary, if you look at the group account, which is one of the things that a colleague of mine was trying to talk about earlier, you will find that the earnings of the company is constantly higher than the earnings for the group, which means that the subsidiary is pulling down. So it may be necessary that in providing summary around funding, you also will talk about what you're doing to make sure that the subsidiary does not continue to be loss-making and hence be able to bring money on the table. Once again, thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, sir.
The protein chairman, other directors of our company, fellow distinguished shareholder. Good morning. My name is Okezia Boniface. Mr. Chairman, I want to commend first and foremost this group of shareholders that are assembled here this morning. I think you deserve a round of applause. It's just not like two other AGM who attended, the readiness. You can't even hear, as if they're marketplace. These shareholders are getting the message. And that is why they want to defranchise many of you that were making noise at the AGM. But when I came in, it just like a graveyard, silent. And that means they are listening with rapt attention and to listen to hear understanding what is coming from the top table. So I think if we maintain this, we will have cause to fight that they must have open AGM like this when we comport ourselves. Keep it up. God bless all of us. Mr. Chairman, having said that, I want to commend the board for having this open meeting, not electronically or virtual, to defranchise many of us. And the way the chairman have been taking, I think how many speakers have spoken now? I think it's a good one. Because if you have nothing to hide, why you want to make secret meeting? So there's nothing to hide. It's black and white written here. You just come here and nobody throwing tomato or rotten egg on the directors. Today, we are going to approve 15 kobo, which was not happened last year. Is it not a good thing? That's what the shareholders are looking for. If they see shareholder dividend to appropriate, they clap and praise. Now you are giving them water. At least the weather is hot. That's what they have here in the bag. But I am believing that even the expensive bag we printed shouldn't have even taken water. One bottle of water. Mr. Chairman, I'm giving it by hand as we enter. Then bringing this bag. That is a waste itself. So let us manage the waste. Cost. Mr. Chairman, having said that, you are living without that. MD, I hope you are listening. I say it would have been better to handle this water by hand for them than this bag. This bag, what you printed it, you would have given them by something else. I rest my case there. Mr. Is a promo, Abi? Okay. Mr. Chairman, the MD, the management have done very well. I think it's a promise kept, promise fulfilled. He said last year that we are coming back here in this hall to appropriate dividend, and have done that. I want to see that this board is a listening board, and have done the arithmetic. They are doing very well. But Chairman, the most important germane question today we should be asking, in continuity, a lot is happening in the oil marketing and industry sector. Many of them that are listed at the NGS are planning to delist. And I'm asking you, are you also planning to delist? Because that is the thing now. Because they told you have been competing with the NMPC, who claim to be a regulator, one way or the other. Because they are also in the marketing, driving the business, competition. And there's no level playing field given to private people. Those ones are funded by government. Even in nomenclature, the name they change. They are still what they are today. Mr. Chairman, today, we are talking this account. When will the NMPC be listed and the public here begin to scrutinize their day-to-day activities? They cannot come. That's a problem. And they're competing with you. And that's why so many people are giving the excuses that since the monopoly they have, continue to operate, suppress, let us go on a private company, competing with them as well, so that we can have safe landing. Otherwise, we are being more scrutinized by so-called many regulators in industry. And that's why I asked you a question. I said, after this AGM, you pay all dividend. I hope it's not going to be the last. We're going to see you here to talk about this company. Because about 27,000 of these members of this company have helped in the past to build. Not those who come today or yesterday. We have built this company for many years. When we used to go to Shagamu, like my sister who came from Shagamu, we have been there to hold AGM under canopy. We traveled by Danfo those days. Go there to hold meeting. And this is the first company that opened business in that axis. Eterna. May Eterna live forever in Jesus' name. So that's why I'm appealing that if others are listening today, don't join the bad wagon. Continue to struggle. There's business in Nigeria. But the problem you have bad leadership that making things as if nothing is working. You work hard, you crack hard, nothing seems working. But I believe that the good Lord will send us a good leader that make a lot of things to go in the right direction. So that the company will begin to pay good dividend to their shareholders. Not finally yet, I'm coming, please. Mr. Chairman, if you look at where the bottom line, where you derive your revenue, is fuel, dispensing of petrol, what we call fuel, and lubricant. Because I want to give kudos to the MD, that during that scarcities, high price, we can confidently drive in Eterna and give fuel. MD, if that opportunity comes again, it's still not abated. It's still there. There's still queues there and there. But Eterna oil were bailing out its customers. I don't know how you manage to stockpile product in your outlet. May the good Lord continue to help and strengthen you and the management and the board for that what he did at that period. At least 3 or 4 occasions I bought over there when that it was biting. It's kudos. Even those living in the neighborhood at Lapberry, they were able to carry their small jerry can or whatever. I passed my neighbor because there was no light to buy fuel in our filling stations. I think that continue. And that's why I'm seeing that cylinder today, we are joining the company of producing gas. I hope that gas will be really available with its content, and I go there and refill. Because it's better for me to go on my company that pay me dividend to buy and refill. But I'm going to others that doesn't pay me year in, year out dividend. I don't know them. That's why I'm proud to go to Eterna and buy my fuel. Even if it's high, let it go. They pay me dividend at the end of the day. Having said that, Mr. Chairman, I believe that your company must continue to keep constant touch with your shareholders, engaging them one way or the other.
Thank you
so that
much.
We know you are not go far away from us. Eterna is doing very well. And the good Lord, only prayers will continue to strengthen you. It is not you own alone, your own power will give us what we are sharing today. No. It's by commitment and hard work, which have translated that 15 kobo. It's not easy to come by because you are competing with the powerful people who are oppressing and will continue to oppress the other athlete. But I hope we will get there at the end. Let us put this meeting and pass the resolution. You have done very well. God bless.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm sure that the questions that we have taken and the observations clearly reflect the views of a majority of us. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank everybody for your contribution. Let me state categorically, with respect to the question on whether Eterna plans to delist, there are no plans whatsoever. There are no plans whatsoever to delist. With respect to, please, everybody, please, please. Please, thank you. With with respect to the Labaja opinion, the chairman is not Labaja and will never be Labaja. Chairman is very much on ground. If you look at the report, you find out that he has attended every board meeting since he has been the chairman of the board, and he was here and played a very active role in the last AGM, and I can assure you that you will see him in the next AGM. We've taken all the observations by everybody. The observation on CEO's report is also taken and noted for future AGMs. Date of appointment of directors is also noted. With respect to your observation on page 77, July 2 transaction, the interest for the facility there is a 12% interest, and that is the situation with respect to July 2. I wanted to say something about the Shagamu project. The project actually was the School of Handicapped Children in Shagamu at Ewuga Street off GRA Road, Shagamu, Ogun State. And I'm sure most of us know the reason why Shagamu happens to be the first place that this is being considered, since Shagamu has paid host to the company for several years, and we're so grateful for the host community for what they have done. Your observations on page 43 with respect to the short-term loans and restructuring of the loans are noted, and the board watches closely every facility. The board committees also watch closely every facility, and we ensure that every threshold that's been given with respect to facilities are sustained and are never exceeded. You can be sure that the company is in very safe hands, and you are not going to come into anything that you'll be uncomfortable with. Respect to your observation on classification of deposits for products as trade receivables in page 8, what we have done is in line with the IFRS standard, and we have and the auditors have actually ensured that the proper things are being done and ensure that we are not in any way infringing on any of the expected standards with respect to our accounts. So everything is being done in accordance with the standard accounting practices. The observation that there is no improvement on the group report of 2023, even though we are basically focused on 2022 report, we also recognize the fact that shareholders may want to make inquiries as to what is happening with respect to 2023. The position basically with respect to the group, with the group report, is that intercompany sales within the group were eliminated in the process of consolidation, and that's why you see that the top line remains the same. But you will get clearer picture of this by the time the final reports are tabled at the end of the year, and you have a greater understanding of exactly what was done. We have also noted your observations on ensuring that there is more publicity with respect to the lubricant. The GM, the managing director, and the top management were taking notes of those things with respect to publicity and to ensure that the brand is protected, and to ensure that there are no faking of our products, and also to ensure that the gas project is also properly pushed out. We will ensure that these things will continue to, the views that you have expressed will continue to be looked into and used with respect to our future operations. Your views with respect to appointment of a minority shareholder, shareholder on the board is also noted and will be considered. With view with respect to appointment of women on the board is also noted. We have 2 women exact on the board right now. Out of 8 board members, what we have complied is 25% so far. We're hoping to keep improving on it as the time goes on. We are aware of the strong position of the women on this, and the board of Eterna is sensitive to the demands of the gender. Clearly sensitive. I want to thank every one of you for your commendation of the management for what has been done in the results, the immediate turnaround. In 1 year, management has been able to bring about a turnaround of the company from a loss position to a comfortable profit-making position. And I think they should be commended. And in agreement with one of the speakers, it is not just a one-off thing. The tendency or the trend of profitability is presently being sustained, and I can assure you that in the present year, the profit is expected to far exceed what has been obtained in the past year. So let's commend the management for all their efforts. And that brings me to the technical support fees that was tabled by at least 2 of the speakers. In order to ensure operational expansion, there's also the need for the company to have engagement, strategic engagement, that are supposed to be the reasons, or that those are the reasons that has produced the level of profitability that the company has seen so far. So the technical support services covers a wide range of support that has enabled the company to provide the kind of results that you have so far. Now let it be noted that the entire process was not handled without proper scrutiny and proper approval of the board. The board looked at it, scrutinized it, and came to an agreement as to its need. And of course, we are beginning to see the result of these strategic alliances and the strategic importance of this particular support service that we have gotten. And you continue to see it in subsequent transactions and subsequent years as the company developed. So that's why it has done. So the process, it went through normal legal process, went through the process of the board, was approved duly by the board, and we're standing on ground. And most important thing is this, is that the work of the board is to ensure increased profitability of the company, ensure increased profitability. And it's a promise that the chairman has made. We are seeing the results so far, and we're going to see continuous increase in the profitability of the company in the subsequent years, particularly as we enter into a regime, likely regime of removal of subsidy, where everything now depends on share market forces. If we are not, as a company, if we are not at the cutting edge at a time like this, it will be difficult to compete in the face of the kind of competition we have in the industry right now. The plan of management is to ensure that Eterna becomes one of the top one of the top companies in this sector in the whole of Africa. And that is a promise that management has made, and I assure you that you will see a realization of that in the next couple of months. I think that's about all the questions that we had before us. Most of them were actually comments which we have noted. And once more, we're totally grateful for every one of your comments, very incisive, very complimentary, and we know that Eterna, with shareholders like we have in Eterna, will continue to grow stronger, better, and more effective. Thank you so very much. So this takes us to item number 2 on the agenda, which is probably the best part of the agenda today, to declare a dividend. The directors have recommended that a dividend of 15 kobo per 50 kobo ordinary share, subject to appropriate withholding tax, be paid to shareholders whose names appear in the register of members as at the close of business of Friday, April 21, 2023. Would someone therefore move? Yes, let's give a lady.
Mr. Chairman, I rise to move that motion. My name is Zalaja Sarata Iyabode Balogun.
Can someone second the motion?
Thank you, Chairman. You are equally bursting into laugh that I've been denied my franchise. There is no problem about that. We talk every day. Yes, myself and my colleagues, that's my business. My name is Dr. Kazim Olayiwola. I rise to second that beautiful motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. May I now call on the members to vote on the resolution by poll? I will hand over to the registrar to conduct the poll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we have the resolution on display. I will read us through the voting instruction. Electronic voting device has been issued to shareholders eligible to vote. Each device has been activated and is ready for use. A resolution will be announced, and voting for the resolution will commence after the announcement. On the voting pad,
let's take the observation, sir.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Okezie Boniface. I think it would not be proper if we are going to go by voting by poll. And some people here have the voting pad, and some don't have, including me, I don't have it. So they must distribute it before any poll can commence. My friend, listen to me. Don't be hasty. If they are created as shareholder and they came into the hall, they must be given that pad, except they already captured their vote. If they have captured their vote already, then that is a different thing. Otherwise, you can't continue to vote. What does have been franchised? No way.
Just give us a minute. We have taken the observation. let us round this meeting. Let's do this meeting the way we'll be handling it. All shareholders that were accredited at the entrance were given voting devices. If you were not given, then it means that you either came late or you were not accredited.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Chairman.
Hello.
Please, can I share
Hello.
something? Hello, Mr. Chair. Okay. Okay,
I
you
think
have the floor.
Let me plead with us. If some persons didn't get the voting pad, even if they came late, they were entitled to it, with due respect, Mr. Chairman. But what is important in this instance, if we want to vote on matters that are not related party related, if you ask me, this part is not necessary. You know why? Because just two shareholders have over 60%. They have over 60%. But when it comes to related party, if there are anything that is related, then we can begin to complain about the voting part. So these components that we need to talk about, I think we can go ahead. Please. Thank you. Yes, by show of hand. Not even by pad. With due respect. Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Chairman. Just to buttress, since there is no demand of poll from your side or anybody, we can go by show of hand. Unless you want strictly to go by poll.
We are going by poll.
No problem. Then distribute. If anybody that's not gotten it, let them go to the registrar and pick it up.
Anybody who doesn't have should go to the registrar and pick up. Anybody who doesn't have should go back to the registrar. Registrar, can you please proceed?
Okay. They left. Chairman. That's how they got this ticket. They dropped their Can I? Yes, a lot of them left. Yes, a lot.
The registrar should clarify, was everybody given?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At the points of accreditation into the meeting, the vice and accreditation slip was assigned to every shareholder. Yes. Should I continue? So we have on display the next resolution. I'll run us through the voting instruction. So, Mr. Chairman, in the morning, at the point of accreditation, a couple of shareholders left for another meeting. So most of them just got their slip, left the device, and went for another meeting. That's why the attendance should be far more than this in our record. In our record, we have over 300, and the whole does not really reflect that volume. Yes, sir.
Registrar should proceed. registrar should proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we have on display the electronic voting instruction. At the point of accreditation, we're all assigned the voting device. It's been activated and is ready for use. On the voting pad, 1 represents yes, 2 represents no, and 3 represents abstain. Voting for a resolution commences and ends in 30 seconds. Results will be displayed in shareholding percentage and unit holding. Please do not touch any of the buttons other than 1, 2, or 3. We'll have the resolution on display to declare a dividend. The timer is up. Please vote. 1 represents yes, 2 represents no, and 3 represents abstain. Voting is in progress. Please vote. It's in progress. The timer is counting down. Voting has ended, and we have 100% in favor of the resolution. And this translates to 854,400,000 units of ordinary shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I declare the motion carried. We go to the next item on the agenda, which is to re-elect retiring directors. May I call upon the secretary to read the names of the directors subject to re-election?
The directors who are presented for re-election are: number 1, Barrister Okechukwu Omezi; number 2, Mr. Anibo Kraga;
Now that they have been known and have been introduced to the directors and to the general meeting to be re-elected, let us proceed. Okay. I now yield the process to one of the directors here, Dr. Akinwade Ademosu, an independent non-executive director of the company. Your point of order is noted.
No, I did. Hello. Hello, thank you so much. Will someone therefore move that Barrister Okechukwu Omezi be and hereby re-elected as the director of the company? Yes, sir.
Thank you, the acting chairman. Before I move, please remember us in Surulere, Yaba, Oyinbo to give us a filling station. I move. Bamishile Abiola is the name. Give us a filling station at Surulere, Yaba. There is none. There is none. Please. Lawansin, many areas.
Thank you, sir. Can we have a woman to second the motion? Will someone please second the motion?
Thank you, Mr. Acting Chairman. The name is Akitunde Mary. I second that motion.
Thank you so much, ma'am. May I now call on the members to vote on the resolution by poll. I will hand over to the registrar to conduct the poll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we have the next resolution on display. And the timer is up now. Please vote. The timer is up. Voting is in progress, please. 1 represents yes, 2 represent no, and 3 represent abstain. Voting has ended, and we have 99.87% in favor of the resolution and 0.13% against. This represents 854,366,000 units in favor and 1,098,000 units against, and 1,000 abstained. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I now declare the motion carried. So I yield back.
Since I'm taking over the proceedings, would somebody now move that Mr. Anibal Kraga be and is hereby elected as a director of the company?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Honorable Babatunde Elekede. I move the motion.
Can someone second? We'll give a lady to second. Give the lady in front here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Shofola Mary Joke. I second the motion.
I now call on the members to vote on the resolution by poll. I now hand over the registrar to conduct the poll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have on display the next resolution, and the timer is up. Please vote. 1 represents yes, 2 represents no, and 3 represents abstain. Voting has ended, and we have 100% in favor of the resolution. This translates to 854,367,000 units of ordinary shares, and we have 14,000 against the resolution and 1,000 abstained. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I declare that the motion is carried. We move to the next item. Item number 4 on the agenda is to reappoint the firm of Deloitte and Touche as independent auditor for the company and authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors in accordance with Section 401 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, Laws of Federation 2020. Would someone move?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The name is Pastor William Adebayo. I rise to second that motion. I rise to move that motion.
Would someone second? We like the lady behind there.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Mrs. Abioye Victoria. I second the motion.
May I now call on the members to vote on the resolution by poll? I will hand over to the registrar to conduct the poll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we have the resolution on display, and the timer is on. Please vote. Voting has ended and we have 100% in favor of this resolution. This translates to 854,352,000 units. And we have 10,000 units against the resolution and 2,000 units abstained from the resolution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. We'll move to item 5 on the agenda, which is to elect members of the Audit Committee. Pursuant to Section 404 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, an Audit Committee is required to be established by every public company, and under subsection 3, the committee shall consist of 5 members comprising of 3 members of the company and 2 non-executive directors. The members of the Audit Committee are not entitled to remuneration and are subject to election annually. Any member may nominate a shareholder as a member of the Audit Committee by giving notice of such nomination to the Secretary of the company at least 21 days before the annual general meeting. The Board of Directors of your company, in compliance with the Act, have appointed 2 directors, Mr. Emmanuel Omojine and Mr. Nibo Kraga, as members of the Audit Committee. I now call on the Secretary to read the nominations from the shareholders which he has received from members. The board has decided that the Audit Committee shall comprise 5 members only. 3 nominees are hereby required.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We received nominations, about 13 nominations, and then all of them were withdrawn apart from 4. So we have 4 nominations. And the following are the nominees and their nominators. Mr. Adeleke Oladimeji Bolaji nominated MOT Olayiwola Tobun. Mr. Shekoni Nuruddin Adebayo nominated Omokayode O Adekunle. And then Odushote A. Olatubosun was nominated by Akpete Wakilu Olayinko. Lamino Shikiru Taiwo was nominated by Lawal Oluwa Hakim Lanre. The registrars of the company, Greenwich Registrar and Data Solutions, have confirmed that the above nominees and their nominators are all bona fide members of the company. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Your nominees for election to the Audit Committee are Engineer MOT Olayiwola Tobun, Mr. Omokayode O Adekunle, Mrs. Odushote Anike Olatubosun, and Mrs. Lamina Shikiru Taiwo. There are 4 valid shareholders nominees and only 3 are required. As this part of the proceedings inevitably takes some time, if a vote is taken in each nominee separately, members will cast their votes for the nominees of their choice, and their names are called by raising their hands. The nominees with the highest number of votes cast shall be deemed elected. Would someone therefore move that pursuant to subsection 404 of the Company of Allied Matters Act 2020, that the 3 shareholders nominees with the highest number of votes be and are hereby elected as members of the Audit Committee? Sorry? Let somebody move, please. That's what we're doing. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
My name is High Chief Ajie Robert Igbe. I move that motion.
Can we get a seconder of the motion?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Marco Juola Oladayo Abduyeke. I second the motion.
Thank you so much. May I now hand over to Registrar to conduct the election?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The election is by show of hand. I'll call the first name. We have 4 names here, even though we have 3 in person. So the first name is MOT, Mr. Oimoti Olayiwola Tobu. Please raise your hand.
Okay, 23. I don't say.
Thank you. We have taken the count for the first. So the second nominee is Mr. Omokayode O Adekunle. Thank you, esteemed shareholders. So the next nominee is Mr. Odushote A. Olatubosun. The next nominee on the list is Mr. Lamina Sikiru Taiwo. So We have the results of the votes, and the highest score goes to Mr. Odushote Olatubosun, 113 votes, followed by MOT Olaiwole Tubo, 105 votes, and Mr. Mokayode Adekunle, 104 votes. Mr. Lamina Sikiru Taiwo is not available, and there was no count for him. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much.
Zero votes. So for Mr. Lamina Sikiru Taiwo, his vote is 0. 0 votes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I hereby declare the following nominees elected. Engineer M.O.T. Olaiwola Tobu, Mrs. Odushote Anike Olatubosun, and Mr. Omokayode O. Adekunle. Item number 6 on the agenda is to disclose the remuneration of managers of the company in line with Section 257 of the Company and Allied Matters Act 2020. And I invite the Secretary to read the remuneration of managers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The remuneration of managers and staff have been disclosed in the annual report. However, to speak particularly to this, we have a breakdown, a range which captures the gross salary band for various cadres, and including statutory deductions, pensions, and taxes. The first cadre, manager cadre, the range is between 12 million to 15 million. And then the next cadre is a senior manager, and that range is between 13 million to 16 million. The next cadre is a general manager, and there we have the range 17 million to 28 million. And then executive management is the last cadre and the highest cadre, and we have the range between 38 million to 50 million. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We now move to special business. Item 7.1. Special business is to fix the remuneration of the directors. Would someone therefore move that the director's fee for the year ending 31st December 2023 be fixed by the directors?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Pastor Badero Michael Kaode. I so move.
Let's give the lady behind.
Dosumu Pereira Fadekemi is the name. I so do.
May I now call on the members.
I will want to think that you haven't probably had the opportunity of going through what you just read before now. You said that you want us to approve. You didn't say us. You want the directors to approve the remuneration of the directors. And I'm wondering what went wrong. Directors cannot approve the remuneration of directors. It's the shareholders who approve. I want you to confirm that that's what you read. Or that's what you're supposed to read.
What we're asking is for the shareholders to approve that the directors should fix it.
But if that is what you meant, what you read was directors to approve the remuneration of directors.
What we are saying, what we read is that shareholders should approve that directors should fix the remuneration of directors.
Okay, if that's what you intended, that's not what you read, with due respect. What I thought you should be doing is tell us how much you want us to approve. That's the aspect that is of interest for me. Okay? So just mention the amount, and I think you'll be good to go. Thank you.
Your observations are noted. The motion has been moved. I'm now handing over to the registrar.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we have the resolution on display. The timer is up. Please vote. The timer is up. Please vote. Voting has ended, and we have 100% in favor of the resolution. And this translates to 855,944,000 units of ordinary shares, and 3,000 units voted against, while 5,000 units abstained from the resolution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I declare the motion carried. Item 7.2 on special business is that in compliance with the rules of the Nigerian Exchange Limited, NGX, governing transactions with related parties or interested persons, the company is hereby given a general mandate in respect of all recurrent transactions entered into with a related party or interested person, provided such transactions are of a revenue or trading nature or are necessary for the company's day-to-day operations. This mandate shall commence on the day on which this resolution is passed and shall continue to operate until the day on which the next annual general meeting of the company is held. Will somebody please move the motion?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The name is Evangelist Dr. Antonio Moni Yomojola. I do move the motion.
Can we get a seconder?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. My name is Akiode Olatuji. I second the motion.
May I now call on the members to vote on the resolution by poll? I hand over to the registrar to conduct the poll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have the resolution on display, and the timer is up. Please vote. 1 represents yes, 2 represents no, and 3 represents abstain. Please vote. Voting has ended, and we have 98.99% in favor of the resolution. We have 1.04% against the resolution and 0.03 abstained. This translates to 34,614,000 units voted in favor and 363,000 voted against, while 10,000 abstained. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I declare the motion carried. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have now exhausted the formal business and have come to the end of the annual general meeting of our company. On behalf of the board of directors and management of the company, I want to thank you sincerely for your attendance and participation, and I wish you a safe journey back to your respective homes. Let's close with the national anthem. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.